Hi everybody! Today we're gonna try to explain how to find a room in Paris, because it might seem as a mission impossible at the beginning, but we're gonna try to help you, give you some ideas how to find one. So at first you have to consider which kind of room you want to live in. There is like the public market and the private market. On the public market, the most known is a Cité Universitaire, which is in the south of Paris at the subway stop. Another option are the residences of the Crous. That's like a student service, but it's difficult to get in. Then we also have like the private market. If you're looking to rent a room just on your own, you can go for just a private apartment. Then you have two websites. You have the website of PAP, which is very interesting because you're in direct contact with the owners. If you don't want to be in direct contact with the owners, or if you don't find something on PAP, you can also go through real estate agents. But then you have to pay attention to the fact that you will probably have to pay a fee for the services they have given you to find a room. So that's a disadvantage. Otherwise, you can also try to look for housemates and to rent together an apartment. And the website for that is à partager. So there you can put like a small text. You can present yourself, and hopefully you will have some reactions for people who are looking for like a housemate. Otherwise, there's also some private residences, and you can just find them on Google. So you have like a big, like a room in a big residence, but then they're privately owned. So a next thing to know is that you can have financial support. The organism that is responsible to give you that is the CAF, C-A-F. More details you can find on Voltaire Online. And so there you can find, like, you can file a demand, and then they will give you financial support. However, you have to have a contract, like a lease, to prove that you rent an apartment. So if you meet your owner, really ask him to have a lease, because otherwise you can't prove, so you can't have financial support. And it's still quite nice to have like 100 or 200 euros a month to pay the rent. So you have also pay attention to the fact that the first month you're not reimbursed. So it's just counting from the second month onwards that you can get financial support. And there are also some specific restrictions, as the room has to be at least 9 square meters and the ceiling has to be 2 meters at least, because otherwise considered as like not humane to live in. If you're looking for a room, you have to pay attention to the fact that the room is furnished or not, because the conditions are not exactly the same. Because if you're renting a furnished room, then you can say like a month in advance that you're like leaving the room, you're canceling your contract. However, if the room is not non-furnished, then you have to say it 3 months in advance. So mostly for foreign students, it might be advantageous to rent a furnished room. Then you can just say 1 month in advance, like, I'm sorry, I'm canceling the contract, I'm moving away from Paris. Other stuff to pay attention to is like never ever sign a contract or give rent to the owner without receiving a key. There are a lot of crooks in Paris. They're trying to win money at the back of the students. So just really pay attention that you never pay the rent or sign a contract without having the key in return, because otherwise you might find yourself without a room. So that's one thing. Another thing is also that like a lot of owners, they ask like a file. So you have like the wages of your parents, you have to prove that they have property and stuff. But the difficulty is that a lot of owners, they also ask somebody to guarantee that if you can't pay the rent, that they can. But they don't accept foreigners to be the guarantor of you. So you actually have to look for French people who obviously don't want to. So there are some owners, if you are lucky you will find an owner like mine, who is pretty cool and doesn't ask for guarantors, but otherwise you better pass by like a real estate agency. So if you're about to sign a contract, the owner will probably ask you to pay 1 month rent in advance, and also like a fee to you will get it reimbursed when you leave the apartment, but just if you damage something, that he recovers it like as money to pay for the damage you have done. Normally this fee is like 1 month or 2 months of rent. If it's higher than 2 months of rent, it's not normal. So you have to discuss with the owner. Probably you're in a weak position, but there are not enough rooms in Paris. But still, if the owner asks more than 2 months of rent in advance, it's considered as not normal. Also, like, the best time to go looking for an apartment is before September, because in September the city is flooded by students looking for a room. So competition is hard, especially if you're a foreigner. And you will have much difficulty to find an apartment that's still considered as cheap. I mean, you probably will pay around 600-700 euros easily to find a room that's like barely livable. So I really strongly urge you to come before September to Paris, and also to really to be in Paris itself to look for a room, and from the moment you see like an offer that interests you, call the owner. Don't just email. You receive too many emails. Just call the owner, try to visit the apartment the day itself, because otherwise it probably will be gone. So that's all the tips we can give you. I hope it will facilitate your search for an apartment, and I wish you good luck, because you'll probably need it.